From Arrowhead to Orchard Park, this is Tables and Tailgates, your weekly Chiefs and Bills podcast, reactions, predictions, league surprises, and more, all served with the energy of a tailgate. So grab a drink, fire up the grill, and let's talk football. All right, Tables and Tailgates fam, you know we're all about repping our teams the right way. And now we've teamed up with the NFL Shop, the official online store of the NFL. If you're looking for the latest jerseys, sideline gear, hats, or collectibles, this is the place. Every team, every player, officially licensed, straight from the source. Right now, you can gear up for game day and support the podcast at the same time. Just click the link in our show notes or head to our socials. It takes you straight to NFLshop.com. That's the NFLshop.com, where real fans get their gear. We're back, listeners. Episode 7. Episode 7. What a hell of a fucking 2 weeks Buffalo fans have had. But huge shout out to all of our new subscribers and followers, and of course, all of those OGs who've been riding with us from the start. We love you guys. You could be anywhere in the world right now. You could. But you know what? You're here with us, and we appreciate you for that. The best way to support the show, hit that follow button, smash that like button, subscribe, share it with your crew, and ring that bell so you never miss when we drop new content. New episodes drop every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Man, Buffalo hits the struggle bus, drops to 4-2. KC back to its old self, sending the Lions home with their tails tucked between their legs. All that on this week's podcast, Tables and Tailgates. Let's get into it, boys.
Let's do it.
Made it. Another week. Another dollar.
And we're still here. We've made it this far.
We've committed, honestly. We made it further than I thought we would. I think the over-under was 2 episodes.
Feels about right.
Oh, we haven't tried to kill each other yet. It's still early in the season. It's completely possible that.
Well, we haven't finished this podcast just yet.
Yeah,
this episode today.
We have to get through this one first.
You know how they say how the turns tables. Usually it's the Chiefs talking about the back-to-back L's, but this week we've got a Bills game that did not go the way that Thom had thought it was going to go.
Or me.
Unlike me, I kind of thought it was going to go this way, but that's okay. I'll take my pat on the back later. Let's just go straight into the Bills game here. What the fuck happened, Thom?
Listen, I told you guys at the beginning what I told everybody last week what Buffalo needed to do to win that game. This is 2 weeks now. We've talked about this, and they haven't done it. But I will say this. It's only 2 losses, right? There's still a long season to go, right? The season's still a long way. So I'm okay with it. I mean, 17 games, it's a 17-game season. So we got plenty of time, boys. We definitely got plenty of time. The ship's not looking good, but we could be looking like the Jets or the Ravens or the Dolphins or just start naming teams that, right? We're still 4-2. At the end of the day, we're still 4-2. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay.
But yeah, the score predictions, I was 24-17, Buffalo winning. Dave was 24-17, Falcons winning. And Big Jim, 36.
Way wrong.
I
wanted it to be a blowout.
I did too.
But it didn't pan out that way.
It just felt like the Bills were walking into a perfect storm. The Falcons have a good defense, and they have a running back that will make you pay if you're not disciplined. And that man was running. Bijan Robinson looked tremendous out there. So there was just a lot that had to go right, I think, for the Bills going into that game, and it just never really materialized here. Walk me through it a little bit. Take me through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, the bad was we lost. The ugly was we lost.
But the good is you guys went out and had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Look, Josh Allen came out. We'll start with this. I start every week with Josh's stats. He went 15-26, a measly 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One was in garbage time. I mean, it's you have to. I mean, your back's against the wall. You're trying to make Hail Mary plays, right? So that still doesn't excuse the fact you should never get yourself or your team into that. But you know what we did. So let's look at it. You know, the good, there's not much to really say here other than James Cook is a dog. And he needs to be used more. We really need to use Jimbo more. Get him set up early in the game, which he was. For the first half, Jimbo was doing great. I mean, I think he had 88 yards yesterday during
He had
Allen's
87 yards on 17 attempts.
Yeah.
And he averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Honestly, I thought that was kind of the biggest issue going into this game. It felt like the Bills got away from the run. It looked like they abandoned it by the end of the game, but it never really felt like it was that far away for the Bills to keep trying to push the ball down the field. So it was kind of surprising for me to see
Yeah,
them get
like,
away from that. Is that what you expected? I mean, I kind of thought if the Bills were going to win this game, it'd be a heavy James Cook game.
well, yeah, I mean, but you got to look at this. The Atlanta Falcons have the best rush defense in the NFL right now, right? So, with that being said, you can't just abandon what is working and what has been working. When you pay a guy, and he right now, James Cook is leading the NFL in rushing. I mean, he has 537 rushing yards. Buffalo's rushing is leading the NFL total rushing yards, and I think I actually wrote that, put a stat down on that, um, to kind of just highlight. Let me see if I still have it up here or not. I went through quite a few different ones, but I don't have it up here anymore. I don't think. But I want to say, yeah, here we go. So one of the biggest things, we do have the most rushing attempts in the league and the most rushing yards. We have 186 attempts, 906 total rushing yards, averaging 4.9 yards a carry. Right? Why abandon it so fast? After the first half, Jimbo was nowhere to be seen. I mean, I think he only clocked in just under 60% of the carries, or sorry, under 60% of the snaps. Jimbo wasn't in. Oh, just under 60%. Flip that and go over to Jeff Ulbricht's side and start talking about having, you know, the the Falcons offensive players just destroying. I think who was it? Was Bijan Robinson was in there like 80 some percent. He was on the field for over 80% of the plays. So that's huge, right? That needs to be looked at, definitely. So it's something that really definitely stuck out in my eyes with it. And look at it like this: 3rd and 1, you don't use the tush push or the Josh push, whatever you want to call it, right? The QB sneak.
Yeah.
You can run that play twice, get a half a yard each time you got a first down. Or give it to Jimbo, your best back that is averaging 5 yards plus a carry. Or your team that's averaged 4.9 yards per carry per game. But so Brady came on. I just actually watched an interview with Joe Brady, and they were asking him the same question. You know, why did you abandon the run? Why did you guys on a 3rd and 1 not do the Josh Tush push? And why did you do this fancy play 2 weeks in a row now? And he said, well, when they go to do that, teams already know that their going to do the QB sneak to left. So they start overloading the box. And he said to be able to, and so that leaves somebody to be able to stretch on the outside and break open a huge play. And so they've tried it, but you've tried it twice now, and it's not working. Granted, yes, I don't remember who it was that we gave it to. It's not generally who we give it to in practice, so that was kind of a little off. I think the timing and tempo for the team just didn't look good. Their tempo just didn't look great at all. They looked flustered the whole time.
Right.
And not to mention, I guess Buffalo's penalties. We've had 29 penalties in the last 3 games. 29 penalties last year. Last year we were 20th in the league for penalties at 112. 20th. So there's only 12 teams worse in penalties last year than we were. So there's a lot to say about that, right? You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're not going to win games like this, especially with your how your offense is playing, if you don't expand on that, right? And they need to look at it, man. Buffalo needs to really take a step back during this bye week that we're going into and start looking at the fundamentals of it and just pull it off layer by layer and figure out where are we going wrong. And Sean McDermott, Bobby Babbage, and Joe Brady have already been talking. That's what they're going to do, and that's what they've already started doing since getting back to Buffalo. Look, the ugliest part of this, Buffalo in the second half, the offense had the ball 3 different times in the second half. 3 different times in the second half. Down 1 score and still could not get it done. Jeff Ulbrich was able to, he blitzed in the second half, blitzed Josh Allen and the Bills 71% of the time on dropbacks. Josh needs the help in receiver room. Well, the rushing was good. Why did we get off the rushing? Well, based on how the game's going and the timing and trying to get back into a rhythm and shooting yourself in foot, getting behind the sticks, you got to go into like a passing type game as well, right? You got to be able to be multidimensional if you're going to hurt yourself that bad. And it's not working very well, right? It didn't look good for the receivers and that offensive line. I'll say this: the offensive line out there was fighting for their lives, while the wide receiver room looked like it was just asleep. Other than right out of the gate, I will say this: straight out of the gate, I mean, Josh had a really nice opening series. Um, with Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer looked like to be the answer, and then he left in the first half of the game with an ankle injury. And so it comes down to that everyone eats mantra has been working. It looked great on paper. It worked. But without a deep threat or your wide receiver room that's quickly able to get separation and put fear in teams, you just become an average passing offense. And the last bit I'll say on the offense before we jump to the Bills defense is I need to see more from Keon Coleman. I have not. We haven't seen enough. We haven't seen. Great, you could be a good 50-50 ball guy, but you've got to step up, bud. Like, what's the whole thing that happened last week where he got benched for the whole first series because of a coaching thing or something? Because he didn't come to practice on time or wasn't in the meeting room or had an attitude. Whatever it was, don't turn into a Miami thing, right? And Buffalo's not going to let this happen. I mean, this happens every year. We've already talked about this before the podcast, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Buffalo's going to be okay. We're just relax. It's a long, long season. These things happen. Don't jump ship and think the whole world ends. Because I promise you, any of you guys out there that are just look, I get we all have concerns with Buffalo and how Buffalo is playing right now. But if any of you think you're better at being a coach or a GM in an NFL team or a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator at this league, you would be there. And you're not. So it's fine. Relax. Let's let these guys go. But yeah, that's what I got for the offense. It was terrible.
It's funny. It feels like just yesterday you were thanking the Chiefs for Keon Coleman, and now it's this guy's got to step his
Yeah.
game up.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke.
That's all right. He's young. He'll learn. You were talking about the defense. Um, is it? Listen, I've said this before in the past few podcasts. I felt like the secondary has been very susceptible. Um, what? So is it? Is it a scheme thing? Is it a personnel thing? Is it an injury thing? Is it not the secondary? Are you not getting enough pressure? What's going on with the secondary? Is it an easy fix? What can we?
Yes.
What can the Bills do here?
So yeah, I think the big thing about this, where we'll start with the defense, is I think it's personnel. I think it's injury. Before I thought it was just we don't have an answer. We don't have that threat. Look, two of our biggest pulls from the first season, or sorry, from draft, were what, a cornerback and a safety, two cornerbacks. I mean, Maxwell Harrison was one, hasn't got
Right.
to play, right? So you got to look at it like that. That Buffalo looked as those two people being on the field, getting through the beginning of the season, and actually getting play, and they haven't yet, and it kind of sucks. So I look at it like that. I think it's a personnel thing out there. Um, we don't have, I don't think it's scheme. Part of me thinks it can be scheme because look, you see what Bobby Babich does in the second half. We've seen 2 weeks in a row. Bobby Babich is in the second half of every game. Bobby Babich is turning this defense around, making them look great.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're coming out looking phenomenal. They're firing on all cylinders. They're playing the game plan, adjusting the way they need to adjust, and it's starting to look a whole lot better. So my thing is, it's tons of injuries on this side of it. It's alarming, right? Christian Benford went down. Taron Johnson went down. Maxwell Harrison hasn't got to play. TJ Sanders is hurt. Matt Milano, he's out. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, is no. You're good. I muted your mic because there was a lot of background.
Okay, well, it said recording stopped, and I was like, "Oh, I was just trying to fix my thing."
Yeah.
Does it sound better now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
no,
to, not to stop the show.
No, that face he
my bad.
made has to be on the title screen now. I'm sorry. No.
Well, as soon as I took it off, it said recording stopped. I'm like,
What is going
"Oh!"
Yo, you look like a toddler who
I
made a
didn't realize I had
mistake,
such
bro.
power.
You look like one of those YouTube videos, a
I
toddler who
felt like
jumped
it.
over a bowl of milk.
Oh man, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
"Dad's gonna be
Amazing.
mad, bro. I'm getting the belt."
All right.
But no, like the biggest thing, with it is, what I was saying about a lot of those injuries. Our defensive tackle Daquan Jones popped his cap in pregame. So that's huge. That was a huge injury. Matt Milano not being able to be out there, not having any of our cornerbacks that we wanted coming into the season, really changes a scheme a lot. Look, even on the offensive side with not Keon Coleman, sorry, Dalton Kincaid not being there, that changes the whole scheme that you already planned for 12 and 13 man packages that we were talking about. And Jesus, now I can't even think
Is it
of
Joe Brady?
coordinator say Joe Brady. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Brady
Yep.
even said that it changes. You have to change on the fly, and now you're putting an extra guy in there that's usually not ever in there, and now he's having to do the work that another person wouldn't. So with that though, the defense stepped up in the second half. That rookie tackle Deion Walker is an absolute steal from the 2025 NFL draft. Fourth round pick. The dude is a stud. He had a couple of plays that kind of blew his assignment. But as a rookie, the dude is stepping up and looking good. So I think that's one positive let's look at, right? Let's look at that as the good. And then the really bad thing is Buffalo's still, our rush defense is still having problems. Now, granted, Matt Milano's not out there, Maxwell Harris, or sorry, TJ Sanders, um, Deion Walker, Daquan Jones isn't out there. Ed Oliver just came back. So the rushing defense needs to get fixed quickly. And luckily, we're coming up with some teams that don't have really big rushing offenses like we have seen, but still that's atrocious to have in the first half. The defense allowed 335 yards in the first half alone. And of those 335 yards, Bijan Robinson and Drake London amassed 299 of those yards.
Yeah.
It goes back to the same thing that happened last week with the Patriots. But the Falcons were able to do it on two fronts, where I said we needed to fix things. It didn't get fixed, and a lot of it was injuries. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment. When we get into what I think shifted the momentum in this game. But um, Drake London pulled a Stephon Diggs. It's like he literally went and watched Stephon Diggs play Buffalo and said, I got that. Okay. And that's what happened. First half. Went out, had the game of his life. Bijan Robinson running like he's running against a junior high squad. It
Yeah.
was
I mean, those pockets he was running through were massive.
like the pockets he was running through was wider than the Grand Canyon at times. I mean, and those guys, look, they even say that rushing offense of the Falcons is huge, man. Those guys get upfield, and you could watch it when they were running. They run out of the pistol a lot, and I kept yelling every time they're in pistol, run, 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 run. And guess what they do? 70% of the time in pistol, they're running. And that's what they did, and they ran all over Buffalo. It's it's terrible. It hurts, but guys, it's only 2 games.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is only 2 games. And before we jump on to the next thing, I gotta say, has anybody seen a throwing motion quite like Penix's? I mean, I've never seen a short like just ball out right. I mean, I just like a softball or fastball pitch. I've never quite seen a throwing motion quite like Big Penix energy over there.
Yeah, he rockets
Yeah,
that
he
thing
does.
quick, doesn't he?
It's impressive.
And it's like not even a
Yeah.
full throw.
Yeah, and the further it goes downfield, the more accurate the thing is.
It doesn't look like it should work at all, right? I'm sure there's a throwing coach out there
Wow.
screaming anytime they see him play.
I truly
yeah. The
So
dude's a
you
baller, though.
mentioned it. Sounds like you're not worried.
No.
How's your confidence? Out of 10, how confident are you that the Bills get back on track here?
Oh, 10. 10 out of 10.
10.
And here's
Whoa.
why. Here's why.
Okay.
Think about this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, like I said in the beginning of this, Buffalo went last year, right? So Buffalo's 0-3. We'll say this. Buffalo's 0-3 versus teams coming off the bye since 2017.
Okay.
Buffalo is also lost, right? Started 3-2 last season, came back and ended with a very, very favorable ending, right? We started the season 3-2, ended 13-4, and went to the AFC Championship game. We've lost 2 games in a row every season since 2017, and then we bounce back and we go on a heater for 6 or 7 games or 8 games. So, look, I'm not too worried about that. My thing is, we were down 8 starters in the first 5 minutes of that game, right? Josh Palmer being one. Other than talking about all the penalties that keep setting us back and us shooting ourselves in the foot, that offense 2 straight weeks has been what's been letting us down. But if we look at it like this, as long as you have Josh Allen under center and you can at least keep guys from being injured, you're going to be okay, right? If we can get guys healthy, bring guys back that are not injury prone. Matt Milano, love you. I just hope that dude comes back non-injury prone. You know what I mean? Or at least can go 3 games without getting injured. That'd be fun. Yeah, so 10 out of 10, we'll bounce back. I mean, think about it. It's like saying at the beginning, if I asked that question to you when you guys were down and out and lost last week, if I asked that same question, what's your thoughts Kansas City bouncing back? Huge. I mean, think about the people that we get back now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just what we get back in the injury report and who stepped up is the hugest part of my final thoughts with Buffalo. That's going to resonate a lot with Bills Mafia and understand where Buffalo is and why I say that we have why I'm 10 out of 10 that we're going to bounce back and the ship's going to be okay. I really do. I think we'll be fine.
All right. No, I want to kind of get into that, but before we get into that, because I have thoughts. I have thoughts I think might make you a little bit upset. Okay. But you know what? Hey, that's the podcast. Just talk about these things, okay?
Yeah.
Here's and before we even get into that, I've thought a lot about the injuries that have occurred. It seems like it's an epidemic across the league, and the Chiefs somehow are one of the healthiest teams. Thom, you and I talked a little bit about your facilities and the player grades and how things are not all well in Buffalo. Obviously, there's some changes coming up to Buffalo with the new stadium. Sounds like there's going to be new facilities. I will say, while there are a lot of circumstances, I think that go with like turf versus grass that we can get into. I do wonder if a lot of these injuries have come from a shortened preseason. And I think the thing that the Chiefs do a bit differently than perhaps a lot of other teams when it comes to preseason is they really go all out in the preseason. You talk about the Chiefs hate going to St. Joe. They're in these dorms. They have extremely difficult practices. And I wonder if that sort of conditioning and that sort of mentality helps the Chiefs stay healthier throughout the season, outside of the occasional freak injury where one Chief hurts another Chief player. And I wonder if other teams can start to look at that process and replicate it. And maybe we won't have as many injuries outside of San Francisco because I'm convinced that franchise in particular is cursed. But it's listen, for me personally, talking about the Bills and the confidence thing here. I'm on board with you for the most part. I don't think the Bills fans have to be super concerned. However, I do think that you guys should be concerned a little bit about the number 1 seed and be a little bit concerned about setting yourselves up for the Super Bowl. Going into this season with your guys' schedule and how things kind of set up, I honestly thought that this was going to be the season for the Bills. If you look at the division, it's very weak. Aaron Glenn doesn't look like he even knows what the word head coach means. He looks really lost in New York. And Mike McDaniels is that cool guy at the high school party. You know what I mean? We're like,
Yeah.
dude, this guy's awesome. He's drinking all the beers. But then, you see him outside the party and his life ain't going too great. And you're like, I thought that guy was fucking cool. No, that guy's a loser. And I'm not saying him personally. I think Mike McDaniels is a great guy, but when he's not vaping on the sidelines and they're not having a winning record, man, things look miserable in Miami right now. Uh, yeah.
Yes, it
So,
does.
I just wonder, the Bills, all of their games have been against teams that have only won one game for the season. And I know we don't like having a discussion about teams and their records, but the Bills haven't beaten a winning team yet. I know but we're a third of the way through the season. The Bills have a bye week, and then they kind of have a get right game against the Panthers, and then obviously we're going to have our civil war after that. But I would think though that it's very important to the Bills. It's hard to say who's a good team right now. The Colts are for some reason the number one seed in the AFC. Who would have thought that was coming this late into the
Yeah.
season? I just wonder if there's got to be a little bit of a confidence shake in here in regards to this is. I think this is the best chance the Bills have in being the one seed and winning the Super Bowl. I mean, outside of that, and if you think historically about the Chiefs position, when you get the belt to the ass like the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl, typically teams tend to fall apart the following season. So I
Yeah.
wonder if from a Bills like fandom perspective, I would think there's got to be a little bit of doubt here, just the loss off the Patriots and then the loss off the Falcons. Maybe I'm wrong,
Well,
but
yeah, no, you're not wrong at all, but you got to understand this. Bills Mafia, true Bills fans have been there for the 0 and 4, right? We always
no,
make
for
the joke of
sure.
the area code 044. We've seen it. We've been let down a lot as Bills fans, but no, you're right. You're hitting it. You're hitting it right on the hammer right on the middle of that nail. You have to be worried because when you give Kansas City the chance to come back the way they are, Kansas City's not down and out, guys. I even as a Bills fan, I've been talking about this. Let's be real. I'll talk shit on Kansas City because I just want them to lose. They're the new Tom Brady to Buffalo. I mean, let's be real.
Everybody wants
Let
us to lose.
right. It's when you get
Yeah.
the good team out there that's just fucking firecrackers and just beats the dog shit out of everyone. You want them to lose. You're sitting there when they're playing like shit. You're just all this is awesome, but right. So to your point, I will say this: this was the chance Buffalo could have got the one seed for real. Um, injuries
Still
hampered a
plenty of
lot of
time.
uh, injuries hampered a lot of what Buffalo was trying to do. The end of our schedule's going to be a lot tougher than we really thought, than a lot of people thought it was going to be. Other than the Jets and the Dolphins, right? The Patriots are great. Chiefs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
then you got the Eagles. They're going to right that ship, hopefully. Um,
Buccaneers is going to be
Yeah.
a tough one,
this,
especially
oh
if they
man,
get
like
healthy.
this season's just been weird though, hasn't it?
That's a good
Like
ball club.
Jimmy, what do you
Yeah.
think about like before
Uh,
we go further into like the injuries and stuff that I was going to talk about? My final thoughts on Buffalo, Jimmy. What are your thoughts about this season? Is nuts.
man, it's like a shakeup, man. It's weird. Like teams that haven't been good in a minute are showing out. New England hasn't been good for since Tom Brady left. Not saying they're great now, but they're a 4-2 ball club right now, and they're playing decent ball. Pittsburgh comes out of nowhere.
With
They're
Aaron
4-1.
Rodgers.
Cincinnati
Yeah.
sucks, which makes it great. And I mean, I don't think anyone in their right mind could have guessed that after 6 games, the Ravens are 1-5. No, I mean, granted, that dude. I mean, they got to be pulling high school players to come play with them because I mean, all their players are hurt and not doing great. Philly knows going to be a good ball club. Green Bay coming out strong, and then Tampa Bay. I mean, Baker's showing
MVP.
out there, and it's a fun as a OU fan. It is a lot of fun to
It
watch.
is.
And then other teams like San Francisco that like all their star dudes are done and they're still somehow winning football games. It's just It's a weird season, man. I didn't think the Chiefs were gonna start off
Yeah.
terribly like they have. I knew the Bills would be good starting off like always, and I kind of assumed certain teams were gonna do decent, but
The
it's been a
parody is
weird one.
real.
It is. It's wild,
Yeah.
man. But look, I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand this season at all. I mean,
Uh,
Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers and magically is the old Aaron, just one last hurrah.
Well, it's easy to be when you got DK and George
Yeah.
Pickens you're
well,
throwing
George
to,
Pickens is in
you know?
Dallas now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. No, yeah, they moved him. But who's the other one that they have
Oh, you would ask.
for the Pittsburgh?
Um,
Hang on, I'll
yeah.
find out really quick.
Yeah.
uh,
It's wild.
Um,
I,
Calvin
yeah.
yeah.
Austin, and which I mean, where all the balls are going to DK.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Yeah,
You
we're.
you
I mean,
just you didn't want to
speaking of the Steelers, if you're turning into that matchup, the Thursday night game, you've got the Steelers versus the Bengals. You've got a 41-year-old quarterback against a 40-year-old quarterback, which is
yeah.
absolutely insane to think about. Um, but yeah, so I guess my question outside of this, Tom, is I'm not saying that the Bills window is closing, but I think there has to be some
Getting
real
fucking closer.
accountability if the Bills don't win the Super Bowl this year, because like the Chiefs, the Bills are kind of in a Super Bowl or bust mode.
Yeah.
So where who takes that accountability? Obviously, you know, Josh Josh is going to be Josh. He's a phenomenal quarterback. I would think personally McDermott or Bean or maybe both have to go if this season doesn't
That's
end
not
up
going to
in a
happen.
Super Bowl. Is that crazy to think?
It no, but it won't happen. And here's why: the Pagulas love them too much. Look, the Pagulas own two teams. They own the Buffalo Bills and the Sabres. And the Sabres aren't doing anything on the hockey side. And as long as McDermott is getting this team to now, I will say this: I think they'll definitely be on the hot seat if they miss the playoffs. But the
No,
Pagulas
that's
are
not
in
gonna
it for
happen.
like think about most NFL owners are in it for money. Really don't care too much. Yeah, they want a winning team because it brings. All right, let me retract that. They're not just in it
Okay.
for money, but the money looks great. When you're a billionaire and you own a team, you have billions and billions of dollars, and your team's getting you consistently to the playoffs, that's bringing you money. Yeah, they won a Super Bowl, trust me, but until Buffalo, until either the Sabres hoist that trophy or Buffalo misses the playoffs, I don't think Sean McDermott and Brandon Bean have anything to worry about. I really don't. And it sucks. It shouldn't be that way, right? But I had this question to a lot of people. If you get rid of them, who do you bring in? Kansas City has the literally Andy Reid is the smartest coach to ever coach football, period. Like there is no argument. I will, as a Bills fan, argue with anyone about that. They have the best play callers in the NFL, period, hands down. People need to start taking, like you said, they need to start taking sheets out of that playbook. It's working for a reason. It can be
Yeah.
it can be copied. Is it going to be perfect? No. But you can take certain things that are winning and why they're winning and certain things that they're doing. But yeah, I really don't think they're that much on the hot seat. I really don't. As much as people want McDermott fired. Okay, we go and fire McDermott. Who do you bring up? Who's the head coach? Who's going to be a
I,
better head coach right now?
I don't know. Get
But
that
to
Penn State coach. I don't know. You can get maybe you can pay Dan Lanning to leave Oregon.
yeah,
Things aren't going great for him right now. I mean, he lost
yeah,
a game, granted,
yeah.
but I don't know. Bill Belichick's going to be free.
Yeah, but until you actually get until you actually get, and then we'll move on until you actually get to that part where somebody's ass is on the hot seat. Nobody knows. Who do you bring up? There's obviously maybe somebody out there, but we'll see.
I mean,
I hope
I
there's.
would think there's going to be, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on ownership if the Bills fall short of expectations this
Oh
season.
yeah, I would.
Because how many times can you guys be set up for success? And so I don't know, but I digress, man. Listen,
Yeah.
the Chiefs
Well, let me
are
finish
back.
with this. I yeah,
Okay, I was gonna
I want
say,
to finish.
all right. I
Let
thought
me finish my
no,
thoughts
okay, yeah,
here
yeah, yeah.
with
You
Buffalo
got it. You got it. My bad. My
because
bad.
there's a
My bad.
few things
I'll
that I
let you
really
finish.
yeah. So Buffalo has 19 injuries right now, either players that are injured, hurt, or on IR. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things coming out of this is talking with Sean McDermott. They said Daquan Jones will be week to week with his calf injury. Josh Palmer will be week to week with his ankle injury. Matt Milano, Dalton Kincaid, Curtis Samuel, and Terrell Bernard are all day to day, looking good to come back. So it's great to go into a bye week with that. Buffalo still hasn't opened three huge playmakers practice windows as of this way, and this is week number 3. However, right before we got on the podcast, it's been a couple hours though, but Sean McDermott did say that there's a chance they will be opening Maxwell Hairston's practice window this week. That's huge. That is a huge cornerback position that Buffalo needs. And I think Bean's like, it's time, dude. Like, we've got to figure this out. So, um, that's huge. Final thoughts. Like you were saying, should we be worried? Until our offense starts humming and we get help in there for Josh or give James Cook more touches, we're going to be talking about the same shit every week. Um, the only thing I will say is if you or a loved one suffers from BIS or MIS, call 1-800. It's rough. ITZRUFF because it's rough out here. But that is the Bean Insanity Syndrome, McDermott Insanity Syndrome, which if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, you're insane. And I said that on this podcast that I did with this guy. I brought that up is you can't keep doing the same shit, guys. Something has to change. And Dave and Jimmy said it plenty of times as well. And we've talked about it too much, like beating a dead horse. But if you want to beat the best, you've got to be the best at beating the best. And Buffalo isn't it. You can't. How many times have we said that Buffalo Super Bowl is about to be played again? It's going to come up in the podcast after next week. Not this week coming up, but next week it's going to come up again when we go
Well,
talking about Buffalo going into Kansas City. That's Buffalo's Super Bowl. Buffalo can't look at it that
in
way.
two, yeah, you
In
got a
2
few
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah, we got a few
Yeah,
weeks with
yeah.
it, but ah, um, don't be worried, Bills Mafia. We're okay. It's 2 games. We're still 4-2 after 6 games with the team that we have. We're still 4-2. It's okay. Relax. It'll get better. It always does. Larry Okunjobi's coming back. Michael Hoyt can now practice, and they're back. Sean McDermott's already talking about them. They can play after this bye week. Those are 2 huge guys that we're getting that Buffalo picked up, even knowing that they were they were suspended, just like Rashee Rice getting to come back. But let's move it
That's
into
right.
Kansas City. Here we go, guys. Kansas
I
City,
jumped the gun. Yeah,
dude. Kansas
Yeah,
City, fucking
boys are
put
looking
belt
nice.
to ass on those
yes,
Detroit
sir.
Lions.
30-17 final score. Chiefs scored every quarter. Yeah, it was a fantastic game. Um, it was a stress like it. Usually, every game's kind of a stressful watch, but I felt pretty confident going into the second half with what I've seen out of the Chiefs. It just seemed like everything was working when it needed to work. Even the run game was up and running, and the Chiefs capitalized on some of the Lions' shortcomings there. I've got a few thoughts here, but Jimmy, how'd you feel, man? What were your thoughts? Did you see anything that you didn't expect? Is there? Give me the big Jim smackdown here.
Huh. Well, the Lions have playmakers on both receiving and rushing like crazy. They have stupid fast, very, very skilled players. And
Hmm.
so I enjoyed, and then maybe I'm talking ahead of myself here, but I feel like we held their run game pretty decent. To, let me check. Yeah.
I
I
believe
mean,
they ran for 98 yards.
yeah, 98 yards. Gibbs, who's their primary guy, only averaged 3.8 yards a carry, which I can accept that. Um, it was Mahomes' first time ever beating Jared Goff, which was nice. We all remember the
Mm-hmm.
game, which I did just look up the field. Remember like I think it was like episode 1 or 2. We talked about this. Um,
Yeah,
they were supposed to play in Mexico, but the field was shit, so
right.
they actually played in L.A. But I thought it was at a
Hmm.
different field in Mexico. But anyway, they cleared that up to me the other day. Um, but no, I thought their cushioning of receivers was shit because there was so many like there was Chiefs football. You can never really just sit back and be like, man, I'm watching football. This is nice. It's
Yeah.
always like, oh shit, like, and every time they drop back for a pass, you're like, fuck, 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 and then he was just like,
Yeah.
I mean, he only had 203 passing yards, Jared Goff, but it still seemed like every time he wanted to throw the ball, somebody was wide open. And I mean, so that I wish would buckle up. One thing that I noticed that we never block is if like someone goes in motion and they stay with the line of
Hmm.
scrimmage, nobody goes and blocks them. If a running back goes out, no one does anything. And that's just an easy like 8 yards for every team every time. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck, bro, like come on. you know. But no, I thought the Chiefs played great. It was awesome to watch. I was bummed I didn't go to the game. I had the opportunity to, and I was like, no, I'll just sit at home and I don't want to watch what's probably badly going to happen. And then it's way wrong. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Dave, take it
and
away
Yeah.
on how you
and
thought.
and I could say this about it: if anybody on this podcast that listens or watches and doesn't know, we are three of the most passionate fans that you're going to end up finding. I mean, the emotions run so high during games. I will tell you this: when we were in Florida, um, Jimmy got to see all of the seasons that I go
Oh
through
yeah,
during the game, and
so
that
did
was with
Dave
Baltimore.
because you
Um,
were on the phone with him the whole time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and then Dave, I will tell you this: if you want to know somebody that writes their team off after the first 2 seconds
No,
of a
no,
game,
I'm
this
allowed
guy
to
right
vent
here.
on Facebook. If I don't
This
vent on
dude
Facebook,
on
I'll get phone calls. I'll get
it.
phone calls seeing if I'm okay,
Yeah,
like if I didn't kill myself or something.
it. I'm telling you, his Facebook. It is a play by like live. You want to talk about the best live reaction on Facebook? He's
No,
got it right
no.
here. I promise you. But no, at
You
the end of the
two are very
day,
similar in how quickly you
um,
count your teams out, which is always
yeah,
comical for me to watch.
it is.
I'm allowed to do the reverse jinx. I've been a fan of this team since I was out the womb.
Me too.
Listen,
Well, not your
I feel
team,
like
huh?
the Chiefs were well, yeah, yeah. I
let
know
me
what you
let me preference that. No, go ahead, Dave.
mean. Yeah. So I mean, listen, like it felt like the Chiefs are back. This is vintage Mahomes. This is MVP Mahomes. This is petty Mahomes, as I like to call him. I mean, he was in his bag of tricks there. There was a few plays he looked like he should have been sacked that he was able to just do what he does as only
hmm
he can do. Listen, let's just go get into it. I'm
Here's
just
a
going to talk about
guy
the
that
thing that I think
ties his shoes
every
better than anyone else.
yes, exactly. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, the thing that Lions fans are crying about so much, and everybody else in the NFL. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that it's rigged. The refs aren't rigging the NFL for the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate to say that. If you're the league, you're probably going to rig the game for, I don't know, a New York team or an LA team or a Dallas team, a big market team. You're not going to rig it for one of the smallest markets in the NFL. So, like, come on, what are we doing? There was a recent study out from UTEP that said that the
Jesus.
NFL's been rigging games for the Chiefs since like 2015 or 2018 or
When
something
what's
like
his
that.
face
Come
was
on.
there?
Yeah, when Alex Smith was
Alex
playing,
Smith.
no, they weren't.
Come on,
Wow.
No,
guys.
they
Let's be
weren't. Come on.
real.
What are we talking about here? The Chiefs did have 0 accepted penalties. They did commit a penalty. It just wasn't accepted. Chris Jones was offsides. Listen, we can go through this play by play. The Lions had 4 penalties. So, in my mind, from what I've seen, the refs let the players play. And I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the best case scenario you would want
Wow.
on no matter who your team is. The last thing you want is the refs to decide a game. And I felt like for the most part, it was a pretty clean played game. You can argue that there's going to be holds that maybe that were missed or two, but if you go through every single football game, doesn't matter if it's Pee Wee, if it's college, high school, NFL, if you freeze a frame, you're going to find a lineman that's committing maybe an iffy hold. I mean, you're just going to. So
Yeah.
I want to kind of go through it each play by play. Obviously, down in the first, I think it was the first drive the Lions had where
Yeah.
they had that illegal formation play. And really, what it comes down to is Jared Goff lined up under center and then motioned out left. And that's where the flag came from. If he had stayed in shotgun and went out left like receivers tend to do, then that would have been a perfectly legal play. Now, the
But yeah,
thing
he
is
didn't get
that
set.
this isn't reviewable.
Yeah,
Right.
he
Yeah.
has to
So
get set.
he
Was
went
his
under
only
center.
thing.
Yeah. So my thing is that yes, it's not reviewable, but the refs can always talk amongst each other and decide if there's a penalty or not. That's always been a thing. So I don't know. Lions should have known the rules better. My point too is if you're Dan Campbell and you're coming in with the best running back duo in the league and you feel really good about your offense, then why the fuck are you doing something stupid like that? What's with the trick play? Just run it up the center. The run game had been working for you up to that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, that just seems like a coaching issue to me. I'm not sure why they went with that. I don't know if it was the prime time game and Dan Campbell got caught up in the lights. Another play I want to talk about the Travis Kelsey catch or not catch. Do I think it was a catch? I think it's iffy, right? Like I think did the ball move after it hit the ground? Not really. I saw his hand position. Uh, however, the Chiefs got up to the line and snapped the ball as quick as they could. How many times in the NFL have we seen that where the teams will get up and snap the ball if they're not sure about a
Buffalo
call?
did it. Buffalo did it this past week.
It
Yeah.
it happens all the time. If
Yeah.
No flag.
if you're the
No
opposing
flag.
coach and you see that they're in hurry up and it doesn't make sense for them to be in hurry up, you should throw the challenge flag, regardless of whether or not because they'll have feedback. They have people that are paid to review the plays. They'll get feedback on whether or not they should challenge. He should have challenged it, and he didn't. So if you're going to be upset anybody, be upset for your coach for not throwing the challenge flag. Um,
Yeah. Look, when it comes to the whole flags and penalties, I'm going to say this one last time. I have never been the one that the refs are cheating and throwing helping the Chiefs with flags and stuff like this. I've never been that guy. I'm not. But I'm going to talk to
right.
everybody about this. If a game is decided on 1 or 2 flags, like me and Dave and I talked about it. I think I talked about it with Jimmy a little bit after the Chiefs game and stuff. Look, there was a couple that I looked at, and there's videos going around. People like, oh, look at Travis Kelsey holding really hard. There was a couple that were legit holding calls. But you have to realize
Yeah.
when you are watching this from your home, you're watching what, a 40, 50 degree angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
The refs are sitting on the field, and the plays are going so fast. The fact that they're catching
Right.
these little ones at times that are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I hate hearing about the whole, well, the Chiefs are, or the refs are helping the Chiefs. The Chiefs are paying the refs. Guys, no, they're not. For
Yeah.
fuck's sake, I hate hearing it.
It
If you have
doesn't even make sense.
if you think your team's that that bad that you have to go out there. Your team's that good. One or two plays are not going to hurt you. One or two, and how like there is so many players that come out and say this. I don't care about this. Like, cool, yeah, we just got to be better. We can't put the game in a ref's hands or because of a flag, right?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
this. You have to look at it that way. And until somebody starts looking at it that way, what do? We everybody keeps having this stupid conversation that I hate.
Well, they were
It's
throwing
it's so
people
frustrating.
throw fit about there's so many missed penalties and talking about reviewing penalties. Like, do you understand? Fucking football games would be like 15 hours long if
Yeah.
they did that. There's
Yeah,
a penalty. There's at least a penalty every fucking play. Let's be real. It's
Oh yeah.
football. These guys are
yeah,
fucking
for sure. You can
humongous.
always find a hold.
Oh yeah, the
Always.
refs are like average sized dudes that are like 5'9", whatever, and then they're standing with these mountain of men. I mean, I'm not a small dude, and I stood next to Chris Jones, and I wouldn't see shit over him if he was standing in front of me. The dude's humongous,
Right.
and
Right.
so it's like, yeah, like you're not gonna catch every penalty. Fucking boo.
You,
That's why I like the Chiefs Lions game. It was kind of like, yeah, there might have been a penalty there, but do you guys want to play ball or cry about it? Like,
Yeah.
let's just fucking play. The
that's
game wasn't close
exactly
enough for a
how I feel
penalty to
about it.
decide the win. Is the way
It
I see
really
it.
wasn't.
Yeah,
That's how I feel about it as well.
if you're talking in the first half, or if it was close in the second half, like you're talking third, fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and this could be a game changing decision. Okay, let's have some talks about it. But if you allow yourself to get to that point already, play football. We're out there
Yeah,
to
I
play
think
football, not
Yeah.
cry about flags that happen. I
I
could
think the
call
one
Right.
so many that.
I think the one game that I can truly say they lost because there wasn't a penalty was, and I can't think of the teams, but it was that playoff game where it was a very, very blatant pass interference. It was just like last year or the year before or whatever. It was
Mhm.
like the Rams or something. And dude got
Hmm.
clobbered like
Oh yeah,
seconds before
yeah.
the ball got to him. And the refs are just like, what happened? It's like that, because that I believe was in overtime, and that was to keep the game going. I think that would have been a first down
Yeah.
or a touchdown. It was something like that. That, yes, I could see you losing your shit on for that. But all this other petty bullshit, dude, like shut up. If your team's down by even a score and you're on the opposing 10-yard line with 4 seconds to go, no timeouts, and you're complaining because there wasn't a penalty thrown for a pass interference, like shut up, dude. You weren't gonna you have 90 yards to go
Yeah,
and
Right.
was it?
one
Did it
play.
happen on our 10?
That's what
Is
I'm
this
saying.
moving
Like on
you
the
all? You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, like oh, so
Are,
let's move you up like 12 yards. There you
yeah,
go. Now you can go for 78 yards and let's see if you can make a touchdown. Like
yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
Let's get real.
It's wild. It makes sense to me for the Chiefs from a coaching perspective. We just got out of the game with the Jags where we committed 13 penalties. You don't
Uh,
think Andy Reid and the coaching staff wasn't on the team's ass to get their shit together? Of course he
uh,
was. It makes sense to me that they didn't commit as many penalties. Now, the other part of it too is I've seen a lot of Detroit Lions fans talk about how Mahomes flopped on that roughing the passer call on Aiden Hutchinson. Um, Here's the deal: if you rewatch the play, Patrick Mahomes never sees Hutchinson coming, and when he's popped and gets up and goes, "What the fuck?" He yeah, Aiden took like 3 steps before he hit him. That's why
Mhm.
he was called. Now,
yeah.
did Mahomes flop? No, he didn't fucking see the guy coming. You can flop. Now, has Mahomes flopped in the past? Every quarterback has. It's just a part of the
Yeah.
game. I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of it either, but shit, if I was getting paid millions of dollars and I knew I could get a free 15 yards, hell
Yeah.
yeah, I'm flopping out there. And every single one of you two would as well. Um, Speaking of Aiden Hutchinson, the funniest moment in the game is having Gray, our tight end, try to block him one on one and just get fucking
He
bulldozed.
just
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, he pushed that man back
just
5 yards
Superman
at
him.
least. Oh my goodness!
The slow
Listen,
mo of
I
that's
mean,
great
Mahomes
too.
is yeah, it's fantastic. It's you can tell. I mean, there's levels to this, and you
Yeah.
can see that. Mahomes is playing at an MVP level. If you check the odds this morning, he's the MVP favorite. Do I think
Hmm.
he's the MVP right now if the season ends? No. I think it's probably Baker Mayfield, but I think there's an argument that can be made there. And the thing that Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans have got to understand is that when you're talking about futures bets like MVPs, these are projections, not if the season were to end today.
Yes.
This is where the odds market thinks the season is going to end. They think that Mahomes might end with a better season than Baker Mayfield. And that's not a slight to Baker Mayfield. He's playing tremendously well with the island of misfit toys at wide receiver with all the unfortunate injuries that are happening down there. But I mean, listen, against the Lions, Mahomes threw for 257 yards, 73.3% completion percentage. He had 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. He had 132.2 QBR. And his season is really impressive. He has a few rushing touchdowns, he's 11 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. I think he's leading the league in touchdowns and passing yards right now. So he's having a phenomenal season. And the reason why we're seeing that is we're seeing wide receivers step up, and we're seeing the O line is playing a lot better overall. Jalen Moore, last moment, asked to step in for Joshua Simmons, who I'll get to in a minute. And Jalen Moore, if you knew this, he literally had his 3rd kid the night before the game. So he was probably sleeping on a hospital bed. His daughter had just been born. And I mean, he stepped in very well. They hardly talked about him. And of course, as soon as I said something on my Facebook, he gave up a sack. But that's life. You know, he's getting paid a lot of money, but he looks very good. The O line is playing a lot better than they were last season. Speaking of Joshua Simmons, very odd situation.
Yeah, that's odd.
He showed up on the questionable. He showed up as questionable in dealing with a personal injury, personal issue, and is in California, right? And this surprised the Chiefs staff. I will say this is an extremely odd situation. If you remember, Joshua Simmons also showed up as illness on the injury report the week before against the Jags, and the Chiefs aren't really saying very much. As of an hour and some change ago, Nate Taylor, who's the beat writer for ESPN, great guy, give him a listen. He's fantastic. But his reporting says the Chiefs still don't know when Josh Simmons will be back with the team, and wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Moore starts at left tackle Sunday versus the Raiders. So this is pure conjecture here. I think the man is sick, and I'm not sure what's going on here. I've got some and again, I don't know anything. I'm not an insider. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Andy Reid talked, and he usually when there's an issue like this, where there's a personal issue, something going on, he'll say, you know, my thoughts and prayers are with so and so's family, or you know, like with Chris Jones and his aunt recently passing, he would say, you know, something along those lines, right? But he was very mum and very quiet on the Josh situation, and just kind of wanted to pass along with it. And I can't help but feel slight vibes of Eric Berry, where Eric Berry had cancer. And I'm obviously I don't know. I don't know that that's what's happening, but I can't help but wonder if there's a serious health issue with Simmons. And that's why he's in California dealing with what he's dealing with. And that's a major loss to the Chiefs. If that's the case, I mean, he's looked tremendous. He's looked like an amazing 1st-round pick. I hope everything's okay with him, but it's just a very weird situation. And it's weird to think that we're a couple days removed from the game and we don't know what's going on with Joshua. So I don't know. Hopefully, thoughts and prayers with him and his family. Hopefully, it's nothing serious and he's back with the Chiefs. Moving forward, I mean, Shamari Connor, he got cooked last week. He did not look great against the Jags. They moved him to safety. He looked a lot better. Gave up that touchdown in the back of the end zone to the Lions tight end. But other than that, he played a lot better. Noel Williams was more involved in the game, and actually, I think he only gave up 7 receiving yards. So he looked great. The linebacking core has been an interesting piece for me. When we talk about, as Big Jim talked about earlier, running backs getting receiving yards out of the out of the game and always being open. The issue is that, that's typically a one-on-one situation with the linebacker. And in those spots, we're seeing that Nick Bolton is the mic, and sometimes he'll be on those coverage, and he's just not athletic enough to make those plays. I will say, though, that the linebacking core is starting to kind of find its groove. Every player seems to kind of have their own fit. I will say Bolton seems to be the leader. He's calling out the plays to the defense. He's make sure he's in position, and he's great at going after the quarterback. Leo Chenal is athletic. He's a freak of an athlete, as we talked about before. And Drew Tranquil, I think, might be the smartest player out there in the field. The angles he takes to make tackles, I mean, he's looking good. So the linebacking core is figuring things out. But listen, the biggest issue on the defense has continued to be the D line. Chris Jones I'm sure, got an ass chewing. How he looked at the end of the Jags game was unacceptable. And there was a few times in the game that he just looked gassed. I know he was looking for that fucking oxygen tank the moment he came walking off that field.
Yeah.
But listen, when he had to make plays, he made plays and he was moving. Derek Nandi did not look great. It's another week of him being a no-show, unfortunately. I just think that it's time for the Chiefs to get the more rookies involved. Omar Norman Lott, Ashton Gelati need to be involved a little bit more. Back to the offensive side of the ball, the wide receivers all look good. Tyquan Thornton didn't have any receiving yards, but it's fine. The one area of concern I have, just slight, when it comes to the wide receiving core is Xavier Worthy's been dealing with an ankle injury. We're not exactly sure how much that's going to impact the offense. I will say he doesn't have the same explosiveness he's had in the past. You would think as the fastest player, potentially in NFL history, he wouldn't be caught by a white guy. But hey, that happens. And I'm hoping that once his ankle feels a little bit better, he'll be back to it. But help is on the way. Rashee Rice is back next week, and I think that the wide receiver core will look tremendous. I think we have to talk a little bit about Travis Kelce. The man lost 20 to 30 pounds over the summer, and he's looked really good. He had the best game of the season, 6 receptions, 78 yards, 1 broken neck.
That was like the slowest elderly fall on his head. And then he just
it felt like elder
stretches.
Yeah, if he was any older, that would have been a Life Alert commercial. Yeah. I'm just going to throw it out there. Listen, Travis has looked better, and he seems to be getting better every week. I think this is his last season, but I don't know, man. Does it make sense for Travis to come back? If he's helping the team and we don't think we have a viable option, I don't know. Just something to throw out there, something to think about.
Yeah, I can see both ways. Yeah, I can see both ways with him though. Like if we missed the Super Bowl or something like that, I could see him being like, I gave it all I had, and then I could also see if like we were to win the Super Bowl, go out on top, and
be like, hey, I'm good. Let's
ride off in the sunset with Taylor Swift and
I'll say her pregnant. I think it may be time to look. It's a 17-game season, right? You can look great in the beginning, but longevity. That's why I'm not too high up on Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that more and around the league. But can he sustain this at his age? Maybe. I mean, these guys look. I mean, Tom Brady played well into his 40s. I mean, we got Aaron Rodgers out there looking like this, but is it sustainable? We'll see. I don't know.
But those guys don't get hit every play and don't block 6'5", 300+ pound linemen every other play.
I think Aaron Rodgers has been hit more times than
he's probably been hit quite a bit. Yeah, but
maybe. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
No.
I mean, I have to talk about. I don't want to talk about. I'm kind of tired of talking about Harrison Butker.
Dude, that was the ugliest extra point. We don't even have to talk about it. That was the ugliest extra point kick I've ever seen in my life.
He was seen on the sidelines
Jesus.
practicing literally the rest of the game, it seemed like, and he looked a lot better. Everything was
He
straight
did.
through the uprights, but I don't know. There has to be kickers out there. There just has to be. There's got to be somebody we can bring in. I don't know. Are the Chiefs going to do anything? Probably not. He's the highest paid kicker in the league. Does it make sense? Probably not. But he continues to be a liability, and he's been a talking point in every single game. And I don't think there's any other team that in the league that has to talk about their kicker every week. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of sick of talking about Harrison Butker. So he was a problem, but that's life for you. But listen, all in all, great game. We even had a fight night at the end of the game. Juju got bodied there, but we got to talk a little bit about that. But
I'm
overall, the
surprised.
Chiefs looked like they're back.
I'm surprised, unless I missaw it. But if they go back and look, I think more people are going to be in some trouble, because at one point, and maybe I missaw it, but it looked like Pacheco was throwing some haymakers on somebody.
Yeah.
And
I
so
think it is
I
under
didn't go back
review.
and look at it, but yeah, I bet you they go back and there's going to be something, you know.
The end of that game, they have been talking about reviewing the rest of that game, but
Yeah.
the only thing I want to talk about, and you wrote in the show notes about this, was that Juju's illegal block in the back. And if you guys want to honestly talk about any penalty, there you go. But it doesn't change the game.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't change the end of the game, but you're professionals. You can't do shit like that. Just like Branch can't go out and do that. Juju can't do that either.
Which I do like that he came out and apologized and said, they were just jawing at him and he shouldn't have done what he did. And that's a rarity, I feel like. His kind of apology seemed more sincere and honest than a lot of people just kind of, their coach was like, you better tell them that's not how you play the game. And be like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not how I play the game, so I messed up. Yep. Like he actually like said some stuff. I know in the notes here you talked about how, like, the Mahomes taunting that last that one rushing touchdown
Him
Mahomes
running into
had
the end zone.
when he got hooked at the very end and like tossed the ball
Yeah,
down.
see,
And
that was my thing.
I love that
He got
though.
hooked.
Because
There
was,
was enough for a taunting
dude.
call.
Everybody
I don't
does
either.
that.
Yeah, but
How many times does Josh does it every week when he gets a rushing touchdown? I mean, he does crazy taunt. Like,
it's half the fun. They should get to do that.
Let
Make
him
it. No, I
have a
don't
little bit of
agree.
fun.
Let players taunt.
Yeah, I don't agree with, like, you do a big hit, you stand over the person. I mean, I've laid somebody out in football before, and I've stood over them and like call me daddy. Like, I get it. It's a fun feeling. But like when you score a touchdown, yeah, you should get to do stuff. If you get a first down on a big part of the game, celebrate that shit. Like, have fun with it. You
Yeah.
can only
Now, if you're
do
sitting there
2
like,
pelvic pumps. You can't do 3. 3 pelvic pumps is too many. That's a flag.
oh, there's 2, and then he pumps again. Yeah, great
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
No, I agree. Look, taunting to me, it becomes it's part of the game. It's part of what these guys do. I mean, they're once it gets to a certain point of shit talking, yeah, then let's start throwing flags. But like what Mahomes
Right.
did, no. What Juju did, that illegal block in the back, and some of the jawing that set that guy off, he's still a professional. At the end of the day, you don't need to do that. I do like his, like you said, Big Jim. I do like his how he said it. It was sincere. He's like, look, I shouldn't have done that. They were jawing at me.
I let him get the best of me.
I could have handled it a better way, but
Wow.
I will say, if you are playing defense in the NFL, I will give it to him. He apologized. You just can't say that you got bullied by the offense as the defensive back.
Yeah.
That's just verbiage. You can't. I would not want to hear that as a coach. Like, you got bullied, bro. You're the DB. You're supposed to be the one bullying.
You're the hammer and they're the nail, and you're gonna say that they're being mean to you.
You're gonna let this TikToker bully you, bro?
Exactly.
Listen, all in all, it was a good experience for Chiefs fans. Not great for Juju at the end there. Some people say he deserved it. I don't know, man. Just keep it between the whistle is my thoughts. I mean, listen, I think the Chiefs are back. My confidence is pretty close to an all-time high. They've got a favorable matchup coming up here soon that we're about to dive into,
Yeah, so I
and
will
they
say,
got some time to tune it right.
yeah, there is one thing that I'll say. I'll kind of just get this over with. We don't have to expand on it way too much. That I kind of wrote down on this. Where did it go? Oh, I think it's way down a little bit further in the show notes, but yeah, here it is. So my only thing with Kansas City is KC back. Um, Kansas City's only beat one team that has a winning record. That's the only argument you can have of Kansas City actually being fully back. Everybody, just so
Are you
Okay.
everybody
just
knows
are
it.
you clapping back because what we said earlier about your team?
No, I'm being for real. No, I'm saying the only argument you can have with saying Kansas City's fully
Uh-huh.
back is that they've only beat one team with a winning record this season.
No, that's fair.
But
But I will say the Lions are arguably one of the best teams.
yes, yeah.
Uh,
So look, it's uh, it's on the NFL to shut the Chiefs down now. Just so everybody knows.
I, I mean, I will say, like, everybody thought the Lions were going to win this game. I thought it was kind of weird that Vegas had the Chiefs favored. Obviously, I'm sure the Lions' injuries to a certain extent had a role to play in that, but
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL, even coming away from that game. They didn't have their best day. Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped a pass he doesn't ever drop on fourth down. The coaching staff made some questionable decisions, but at the end of the day,
Yeah,
the
a
Chiefs
couple
played
injuries
very
still.
well and
Yeah, the
earned that
Chiefs,
win.
they did.
And they did that without their starting left tackle, which I think is actually kind of a big deal. I think Jalen Moore stepped up and played a really big role against arguably one of the better defensive lines in the NFL.
Yep.
And I I think it was. I don't know if it was a make or break. If the Chiefs had lost that game, I would come into this game against the Raiders saying, "Okay, now it's do or die." And if the Chiefs had lost that game against the Raiders, I would have looked at this as a
Yeah.
rebuild season versus what it is now. But I think coming away from that game, I think the Chiefs are in a much better position. And like we talked about a little bit earlier, there is no clear cut favorites. Is everybody really sold on the Colts being the number one seed this year?
No.
I'm not. I mean, I really like Daniel Jones and I like what the Colts are doing right now, but I don't think the Colts are going to be the number one seed. I still think it's going to come between the Chiefs and the Bills, and I don't know. I think that's it. I mean, maybe the Colts are the real deal. We'll
Yeah.
see, but the AFC is as wide open as I can recall in quite some time.
Absolutely. I agree. Okay. So Raiders Buffalo has a bye week. So we'll just get that one out of the way real quick. Buffalo will win if nobody gets hurt on the bye week and we can get Josh some help. They can right the ship.
It's a long 2 weeks.
It is. They have a lot of time. Okay, Raiders at Kansas City. Noon game. What do you guys got? We'll rip through this real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, listen. I don't take the Raiders super seriously. I don't think it's a trap game. I mean, I think that because for it to be a trap game, I think it would need to be the Bills the week after, and it's not. It's the Commanders. I don't think it's a trap game. I think that I think this is going to be an offensive showcase. I think in the Chiefs script, I think they're going to get Rashee Rice on the field and running. I'm serious. I might put $100 on Rashee Rice getting the first touchdown of the game. I think it was like plus 700, plus 750. The last that I've seen, I think it's going to be an offensive showcase for sure. And the only thing that scares me is Max Crosby because he always seems to play really well against the Chiefs, and that guy is a monster. I really wish somebody would free him off of the Raiders because that man deserves to be on a
Dude,
playoff team.
yes.
He's loyal, but damn, I mean, I can't think of a Raider recently that I've had more respect for than Max Crosby. Geno Smith has been an absolute turnover machine. He's had 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this season. He
Yeah.
can't seem to get out of his own way. And I'm not going to say Ashton Genty has been You know, I thought he was going to be offensive rookie of the year, to be honest, going to the season, other than Travis Hunter. I thought it was between those two, like it was for the Heisman. And while Ashton Genty has had some better games recently, and I wonder if a part of that is because of his Michael Myers stance there in the back, which is probably one of the
Yeah.
best things I've seen in sports recently. But he's only averaging 4 yards a carry, and if the Chiefs do get up early, like I think that they will, then you're relying on Geno Smith to pass. Um, and I just don't think that is the Raiders' formula to win. So I'll just make it short and sweet. Listen, the Chiefs win if they put the belt to ass and make the Raiders pass. And the Raiders win if Max Crosby dominates the Chiefs' offensive line and the Chiefs have as many penalties as they did against the Raiders that they did against the Jags. So my score prediction is Chiefs 35. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give the Raiders 21. I'm not sure that they'll get to 21. I mean, the Lions didn't get over 20, so I wanted to put them at 14, but I think a garbage time touchdown is certainly possible with the game out of reach. So my final score 35, Raiders 21.
Okay, Jimmy, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that thing? And then
I
I'll
think, kind of like you,
give
it's
my
going to be an
prediction.
offensive showcase. I don't think that the Chiefs are going to lose to another divisional opponent. I think they know kind of want to keep that streak of having the AFC West title for what was it, like 12 years or something like that in a row?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah, this will be year 10.
Yeah, so they would like to get that, I think. And I think I mean, it brings me back to when we had the OGs. We had Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, all those guys, and we were the Legion of Zoom. And it was so hard to prepare because you have guys that can go deep, you have guys that can cut underneath you. How do you plan for that? So that's what I think made us so good. So I think the Chiefs are going to go off. I think Mahomes is going to have a wild day, and as long as we can keep Max Crosby out of Mahomes' face, which he loves nothing more in the sea. I think if he could have 5 sacks all year, as long as they were against the Chiefs, he would think he won the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Which I think they do respect each other and like each other outside of football, but during the game they hate each other, which is like the most true, I think, professionalism in football that you could be. I mean, that when you're on that field, that
Yeah.
switch is turned, and until that clock hits
Right.
zero, you're at war. And they are, I think, two of the best that show that with one another. And then as soon as the game's over, they
Mm-hmm.
immediately go to each other. But so my score prediction, I think the Chiefs are going to go off, and I think we're going to smoke them 42-17. I have high hopes. I think if everyone stays healthy during the game, Mahomes has all of his weapons, and I think it's going to be definitely a great game to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my real quick on this. I could just echo exactly what you guys said. Look for this to be an offensive case showing with Rashee Rice and Kansas City coming out and putting the NFL on alert, saying, "Look what we have in our wide receiver core. We told you guys. We gave you guys 5 weeks to prepare for this, and you know you didn't do enough damage. So look, it's going to go one or two ways. Rashee Rice is going to come in, knock off the dust here on the first quarter, second quarter, and just get right back to where he was, or he's going to come out and just like he never even left. So it's definitely going to be something fun. I can't wait to watch. That's going to be a really fun game because, like you guys said, Max Crosby, he loves getting in Patrick's face and talking so much shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he loves
Yeah.
to get in his head, and if
It's
Max
fun to
Crosby can
watch.
do that,
It
if
really
Max
is.
Crosby can do it, it's going to be a very long game for Patrick. Um, if he can get them off tempo, but you have to get them off tempo quickly, very very quickly, and you have to keep it that way. And look, it's not very sustainable and easy to do it when you have the greatest coach to ever coach in the NFL, and probably I wouldn't even say arguably the greatest offensive coordinator to ever put plays down on that fucking sheet. Arguably one of the best.
Did you say Matt Nagy? Are you thinking Matt? Are you talking about Andy Reid?
No.
No.
Andy Reid and your and
Okay,
defensive
okay.
coordinator.
I was saying, I know what you're
No,
not saying about Matt
Andy Reid.
Nagy, though. I will say,
No.
and you
Andy
can
Reid.
go on. I got a thought about Matt Nagy before you.
And then, I mean, arguably on the secondary or on the defensive side, greatest defensive coordinator, arguably to ever, put this. But
Oh, I
hands down,
agree.
it all comes out of Andy Reid. And to shut that dude down, you've got to have your foot on his neck the whole time. And good luck, it's not. Ashton Genty's just been getting better and better. Like you said, since he's gone into this Michael Myers stance, week after week, and I have him on my fantasy, he's been getting better. If Kansas City can't shut down that, look, if Kansas City shuts down the run, the rate and cause the Raiders to pass, this is going to be an easy one. Max Crosby needs to get in there and again, disrupted a lot, but I don't see it happen the whole game. I really wanted this 31-17, but I think with Ashton Genty and with Rashee Rice, I'm feeling that there's going to be a little bit of timing stuff that Patrick and Rashee Rice going to have to get knocked out for the first half of it, and then it's going to be a fucking shit show. I'm going to go, man, I really want to go 31-17. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go 31-17 Kansas City. I had 31-21, but I think it's going to be 31-17. Kansas City wins this at home. This isn't a trap game. It's not happening.
And I will say, as us Chiefs fans, I'm excited it's not a primetime game. I know, like, hey, this is primetime games. Chiefs fans are kind of sick of them too. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I like watching a game at noon, and then, if your team wins, then you got stress-free football the rest of the day, or you can just f off and do whatever you want. Perfect. I'll take that every time. You talked a little bit about Matt Nagy. I will say there's a lot of rumors linked to him to that Tennessee job with the Titans coach being let go this week, the first fire of the season. So we'll see if Matt Nagy's around for the long haul. I'm not so sure he will be. We'll see if he ends up in Tennessee. He didn't do a bad job in Chicago. I think people think he did, but I don't. I don't really feel that way. I think they've had a long line of awful coaches up there, and Matt Nagy certainly wasn't the worst of them. So, but listen, I have just got a notification on my phone that Tom Brady has dropped his power rankings for the week, and we have not talked about this before. And we're not going to give our power rankings today, but I would like, in particular, a Thom reaction to Tom Brady's top 10 teams in week 6. Jimmy, I'd love to get your feedback as well.
Let's do
So
that
are
real
you
quick.
ready for this? Are you ready to hear it? Have you, first off, I just want to make sure this is a real and authentic interaction, reaction. Tom, have you read Tom Brady's power rankings for the week?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Jimmy, have you?
No, I
Okay.
have not.
All right. Drum roll. Okay, so Tom Brady's number 1 team. What do you guys think?
Chiefs.
Buccaneers.
No.
Bucks?
Buccaneers. That's right. So he's got the Bucks at 1. He's got the Colts at 2. He's got the Packers at 3. Lions 4. Rams 5. Broncos 6. Eagles 7th. Chiefs 8. Seahawks 9. Patriots 10. Bills are not on Tom Brady's top 10 power rankings. Is that a little bit of dad hates son mentality that he left the Bills off the list? How are you feeling?
Good. Look, there's been some crazy. If you look at the top 10 power rankings right now, there's been some crazy power rankings this week. I haven't seen his. Am I surprised? No. But you have to look at it like this: Buffalo's still 4-2, and I could probably name 2 teams up there that have a worse record than Buffalo. Granted, who they played, I get it, but Tom Brady knows better than anyone. It's not always record; it's who you play and how you play them. But at the end of the day, we're still 4-2. I'm okay with it. Buffalo needs that kind of medicine. We really do. Get that shot of, you're not the greatest. And if you want to be the greatest, like I said it before, you got to beat the greatest at being the greatest. Buffalo hasn't done it. That's wild, though, that you would keep Green Bay up there that far. And the
Yeah,
Eagles, how the
I mean,
this
Eagles
is
are
why
playing.
they still have
the Eagles
technically
are
only
not.
lost one.
Yes,
I think a
That's true.
tie
but you
should
have the
I heard.
Eagles up
count as
there.
like 5 losses because that's just stupid. There should be no
I
ties
hate
in
ties, but
American football,
Yeah,
the real football.
no.
100% agree. Yeah, I think the Eagles thing. I mean, we can talk about this in the other show, but uh, I don't think Jalen Hurts and the word elite belong in the same sentence. And um,
No.
yeah, I think to be a good quarterback, you have to be a good passer of the ball, and he's not that. He's not that this season. So
I mean,
yeah,
because yeah, because then
yeah.
if you look at like Fox Sports, and I'll just say this real quick before we move on and finish this show, but I mean, Fox Sports ranking, this is one that I did see. They have Tampa Bay 1. That's great. Detroit 2. They kind of get knocked down because Kansas City. The Rams, Green Bay, and then Buffalo. And then Eagles, Colts, Niners, Pittsburgh, and then Kansas City at 10. Long season. I'm not going to get caught
Nobody
up
knows
on power
anything.
rankings. It's
Chris
this.
Collinsworth had the Chiefs as number one. So I mean,
Yeah.
you just don't know.
Here's a
This is the most
guy,
wide open I've
Patrick
seen the NFL.
Mahomes, right here. That
No,
just
no, no, no.
the way
Sorry,
he
not Chris
ties his
Collinsworth.
shoes is just better than anyone. The way he
I
makes
do
I
his
love
didn't mean
Chris
Chris
bets.
Collins.
Collinsworth.
I love whenever he's talking,
God.
He's
like
funny.
broadcasting on games. It's always the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, here's a guy," and just starts talking. And you're like, "All right, yep." Oh, he's the
Yeah.
best.
I meant to
Oh.
say Colin Coward, but
Oh yeah, Colin Cowherd. Yeah.
CCCC. Anyway,
Ah,
did we talk about this now? I don't see this in the notes, but we're going to try to do a live episode with all of us in person this week to
Yes.
discuss around the league. We didn't end up doing around the league this week because one of us wasn't available and it just didn't feel right talking shit about the other person when they weren't around. So that and he's the
Yeah.
biggest one amongst us. So
Yeah.
he may not
the
be able to catch
nicest
us, but you
of the
know.
nicest one.
Biggest
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. So be on the lookout for that this week. That's all I got for my side.
Yeah,
That's all I
huge
got.
shout out, guys. Look, hopefully Saturday will be great. But huge shout out to all of our new subscribers and followers, and of course, again, all of those OGs who've been riding with us from the start. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Tables and Tailgates. You could have been anywhere else, but you were here with us, and we greatly appreciate that. And love you guys. The best way to support the show, hit that follow button, smash that like button, subscribe, share it with your crew, and ring the bell so you never miss when we drop new content. New episodes drop every Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts, and look for our Around the League being recorded live this weekend, so that thing should be coming up. Well, that's going to do it from us. As always, from Arrowhead to Orchard Park, thanks for joining us on Tables and Tailgates. And until next week, keep smashing tables, keep tailgating, and keep loving football.